How's it going, YouTube? So we are installing a aftermarket winch bumper on my 2013 F250. I'll show you. I know it's a little dark in here, but let me show you some of the problems I've run into. First issue is the remote control for the winch. The connector is right here, which is totally impossible to get to once you have everything mounted because of the way this top plate across here is obscuring. I like the fact that it's hiding the winch, but you can't get to the remote control. So I went online, discovered they make a 4-foot extender that I can tuck up underneath, so if I am using the winch, I can reach up underneath and use that 4-foot extender without having to go all the way into that connector on the control box. Second problem is connecting the 4 LEDs. The harness that came with the bumper assembly was basically the connectors, those connectors, and then it came with a relay and another set of ring connectors to go to the battery. I was wanting to use the factory headlight switch, so I cut off that relay and those ring connectors and located the wire that's originally going to the fog lights. Put my own connector there. It's just a 2-wire, black and red. Put a 2-wire connector there, and then made this harness right here, which this is the wire that came from Rough Country and Scorpion for the 4 LEDs. So there's the other connector that'll connect there. So now when you turn on your headlamp switch in the dash, the factory dash switch, pull it out for the fog lights, these LEDs will come on. Everything else has been pretty straightforward with this particular bumper. It is significantly heavier than the factory bumper. I think the factory is like 80 pounds. This thing is closer to 160. That's without the winch. And add another 70 for that winch. It's a Rough Country 9,500 pound winch. And one thing to notice on here, that square plate is all that's going to hold this bumper. One on this side and one on that side. And these corners where this connector, this bracket right here is at, that is going to get removed. So there is no support on the corners of this winch. So if you get into a little corner fender bender, you're probably going to bend this thing pretty easily, I would think. But other than that, I think the bumper overall looks pretty good. It's definitely heavy. The LEDs are not all that bright, so at some point the bumper may come back off and those might have to get upgraded. But I did test to make sure that the factory wiring, without going through the relay and straight to the battery, was not getting hot from amperage draw. Left the lights on for about 15 minutes and the wires were still cool to the touch. So I don't think I've got to worry about factory wiring and not pulling straight from the battery. I'll do another update tomorrow once we get that extension arrives, and I'll show you what and how we got that done.